If you really want to be good at something, you really have to do all you can. You do all you can to practice the skill, the ability, whatever it is you're trying to do. One of the things I'm trying to do is get better at speaking, getting better at producing YouTube content, and get better at really engaging with my audience and trying to figure out what that is. And the only way I'm going to get better at that is through practice. It's the practicing that is really where it's at. Think about the gym, bench pressing, squatting, and deadlifting, and powerlifting, and building strength and building your body. You have to practice. And that's kind of one of the things I like about higher frequency training. When you're doing high frequency training, like you're benching 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, you're squatting 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, you get more practice in. Of course, you can't lift as heavy, so you can't have the same intensity, so especially if you're an intermediate lifter, because your body does not recover very well, or if you have pre-existing joint problems that kind of come and go, like tendonitis or knee pain. But the one thing I really like about kind of lower intensity, high frequencies, is that you get better practice. And if you want to get good at anything, and you want to get good at it fast, you have to practice it. The only thing with the human body is that when you're lifting weights and you're trying to get strong, is that your body can only take so much before it starts to fall apart. And it all depends on your training age, it all depends upon your real age, and it depends upon just a lot of numerous factors, such as what else you're doing outside of outside of working out. But when you're really committed to something, you're going to do all that you can. You're going to practice, you're going to practice, you're going to practice. You're going to think about it all day long. You're going to think about what you're going to do. You're going to think about your numbers. I know that when I get close to my meet and I get really motivated about lifting, all I can think about is the numbers I'm going to hit for the day. I already have it in my head and I'm focused in on it. And that's kind of how you do it. That's how you hit big numbers. You concentrate and focus on hitting them. You don't just all of a sudden, oh, I'm going to just try 400 pounds. You know, because what happens is you start to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And this kind of leads me into the idea of fear. Fear is one of those things that holds us back. It could be fear of doing something new, fear of pushing ourselves too hard, fear of failure, fear of having to commit to something and maybe it not work, like doing a program. You know, I think a lot of people out there don't like doing programs or following consistent programs simply because they're afraid that they're going to get weak in other parts of their body, or they're afraid that they won't be able to do what they want. And the problem is that if you want to get good at anything, you have to develop the discipline to be consistent. And if you're always inconsistent with your training, what's going to end up happening is you will have no way to measure how you're doing. And I think one of the things that I've kind of had problems with in the past is really following a program. I still have problems with it. Part of it's because I have so much stuff in my head as far as education and experience. And maybe you, if you've been training for a while, you have too much stuff in your head. The best athletes, you have to think about this, the best athletes out there, you know, the best athletes are following a program. They are very disciplined and they know their body really well. There is a reason why they're following a program. It's because the human body has limits. It has limits because it can only get stronger from what it can recover from. And if you don't really follow the physiology of your body or of what your body's ability to recover, you're not going to be able to become the best you can. And I think one of the things that what you notice about other people that are in other sports, or not, other sports, for example, or even top level powerlifters like Dan Green, you know, he was talking about how, you know, when he is getting ready for a meet, he just follows what his coach tells him to do when it comes to dieting. He does his own all workout programming, but when he has a prep coach for nutrition so that he can make weight for a weight class or a powerlifting meet, he focuses on, he just follows it. He doesn't even ask questions. And I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of us have trouble, we have too many questions. And what it is that you're going to get better from the practice, from the doing, and then trying to record your progress and getting a sense for how you're doing week after week. And what you're doing this week or for the next 2 weeks, you won't be able to see the benefits of it till 4, 5, 6 weeks out. This is something really important to understand, because if you are intermediate or you've been lifting for a while, a lot of the stuff that you're trying to get better at, it's not going to show up for a while. Like, for example, the Rubish row. That's something that I've incorporated into my programming. And I won't know if that's actually going to help my deadlift or make me stronger until probably 8 weeks from now, until I try to really go past my max, or until I try to hit 545 again. there's a lot of different training variables that are changing because I am basically a beginner powerlifter. I'm very new to the sport. And since I'm dropping weight class, everything changes. Everything is changing. Like I'm cutting like 300 to 500 calories below maintenance, and I'm already feeling weak. The smallness of my body. I mean, I'm not even losing that much weight. I've lost like 3 pounds. And it's definitely affecting my ability to perform well. So there's variables that you need to track. And this kind of makes me talk about nutrition as well, or to want to talk about nutrition, is because if you don't track your nutrition and you don't have a sense for kind of what affects your body, you're never going to know if what you're doing even makes sense for your recovery. Because a lot of us tend to be all over the place. You know, we either want to look good or we want to be stronger, or we want to get the most out of the gym. But if you're not tracking your progress, nutrition, what you're actually working out at, what weight you're lifting, what program you're following, what your progressions are like, how do you know what you're doing is even working? The only time you really don't need to track anything is if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner and you've only been and you're kind of either falling off track and getting back on track, it doesn't matter, because if you haven't worked out for 2 or 3 weeks and then you bench press, guess what's going to happen next week? You're going to fucking be stronger because you're a beginner. You're reconditioning. But once you're conditioned, progress comes really slow. And everyone's a little different. It's kind of understanding that you really want to control your variables as much as possible. So that means you need to track your shit. And when I bring up tracking, I get really defensive because I hate to track shit. You know, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I've been coaching people for a while, and I get defensive because I feel like I know how to eat healthy, I know how to train, I know my body well. But the problem is, because of my stubbornness, it's really been holding me back. And what this requires is that I need to be a little bit humble with myself. This is kind of one of the reasons why I'm following Johnny Candido's training program, or I'm following a program for that matter, is because I need to find a consistent way to track how I'm doing. I have everything in photocracy, but I'm not following anything consistent. So there's no sense of me to really gauge a sense for how I'm really doing. And for me to get a sense for how I'm doing, I need to follow a program. And for me to follow a program, I have to follow a program that I like. I like that program. Now, you may not like that program. The volume might be too low. So if you don't like it, or if it's not kind of your style of working out, then you probably shouldn't follow it. I mean, a big part of being good at getting strong and getting better is that if you don't believe in the program, it's not going to do anything for you. If you question the program, it's not going to do anything for you. That's the reality of it. So understanding that whatever program you choose, you need to make sure that it makes sense for you and that you enjoy it. You know, it's just like following a diet. You know, sure, you can stuff chicken breast and broccoli down your throat and eat that 6 times a day and lose hella weight and get lean, but then it's not something you're going to be able to sustain. You're just going to crash. You have to find a way to do something that you enjoy, that you like, and then you need to track the progress, and you need to gauge if it's working for you or not. And this all comes down to commitment. How committed are you to getting better? How committed are you to getting to where you want to be? You're not going to get there by accident. I tell you that right now. You're just not going to get there by accident. And let's say you do. Let's say you're one of those gifted athletes that do get there by accident. You can be better. You know, you can always be better. And if you track your stuff and you really gauge your progress, you can really push yourself to the limit and really get to new levels, of new heights of what you're capable of. So these are just some thoughts, and these are just some ideas. Hope you enjoyed my video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber.